I want to give a huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Therapy isn't something to run away from, it's a vessel to run towards. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it's 100% online, so break out your comfies. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time. Anytime. And schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. No more fumbling to get a session on the calendar. You schedule based on when the time is right for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. Therapy changed my life for the better, pun intended. And with BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Rocky. That's betterhelp.com/Rocky. Welcome to a special edition of Wild Nights with Rocky Powell. Now, did you have a good week? Or a good 2 weeks? Or are you that meme of the dog with a little fire burning all around him? Checks out if you are. I want to start by saying thank you for tuning back in. If you were wondering the reason for our uncharacteristic pause, it was because I was physically, mentally, and emotionally getting ready for Bert Kreischer, aka The Machine, his fully loaded at sea comedy cruise. I went with Team Cypher Sounds very proudly, and when I tell you, from the moment I landed in Miami until the moment I said goodbye to the rest of the team, I was laughing. We were laughing. Here's how this episode is going to work, Party God Squad. The fully loaded festival at sea was so fully loaded that I got to break it up into 5 different episodes. This is part 1 of 5. Damn, Rocky, you so wild. I know. Rest in peace to Matthew Perry, by the way. I know that was a Monica cadence. I'm not an idiot, but he was a legend and he will be remembered fondly. Like I was saying, this will be 5 episodes spanned out because, damn, this trip was fun. So let's not miss a beat, shall we? This first episode is all about our first night in Miami. That's right, party in the city where the heat is on. But before I can recap, there are 4 main characters in this episode besides myself. There is the legend, Cypher Sounds, comedian extraordinaire, legendary DJ, very famous in New York, and a Domino's master. He's the reason we all got to go on this adventure, and I will be forever grateful to him for that. Thank you, Cypher. The other 3 main characters in the story, well, I'm going to let my friends Justin and Liam tell you about us. You know Liam, past guest of the show, member of the Party God Squad. Listen to his episode after this if you haven't already. And Justin, our trip photographer, our trip videographer, more comedic timing in his pinky than I can even put into words. The boys are going to give you a precursor. You may hear in the background some of the richest laughter you've ever heard. That's Cyndia. Shout out to the Sin and Twin podcast. Cyndia is our team editor, but we call her the Muscle. In this character recap that the boys give us, there will be foreshadowing, there will be teasers, there will be spoilers that you won't be able to put together. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to the boys for the prologue.
As a spokesperson of the 360 Society, this trip, how many days was it? A lot. It was a lot of days, 4 days. Just a couple of kids from the ghetto, just trying to get it.
Rocky's from New Haven.
I'm from the ghetto, though, for sure.
Rocky got some soul in her, and we've got some videos to prove that. But let's start with how there's about 1,000 people on this boat. But there are 4 people on this boat that became gods. Let's start with the ginger that literally had no idea what he was walking into. Days before the trip, he said, I can't get on a show. He said, I can't do it. This is impossible. I can't do it. I'm going to go on a show. I'm just going to talk to some comedians. I'm going to network. It's impossible for me to get on a show, let alone just introduce somebody. Liam Gingerbread Dalton. On Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Has it been 3 days, or was it just Sunday and Monday?
He got on all 3 days he could.
I think it was Saturday, Sunday.
It was Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? Ladies and gentlemen, 3 damn days in a row. A miracle happened. He opened up for the King of New York, Cypher Sounds. Cypher let him get a couple jokes in, killed him. He got off the stage. The next day, Sean Patton sees him, says, hey, do you want to be in my show tonight at 9 o'clock? First off, he was busy. He had to talk to his people. He had to talk to Liam's people, which is me, Rocky, and the Muscle. In the morning, he said, guys, do you think that Liam is suitable for the 9 o'clock show? Can he do a 10-minute spot? Can he? What the freak do you think he's here for? Why do you think he's here? He kills it. And we forgot about the Norman guy. I do like to talk about Norman. He's a great guy. This is Monday, the last day. Liam is on stage performing again. Unexpectedly, but respectfully. Unexpectedly, but respectfully. He did that. Liam's God Day has been closed. That was just a magical moment for Liam. He's had a fire weekend. This is an unbelievable weekend. This is unforgettable. It honestly might be a highlight because Syfe did a lot of good shows, but could you really say that's better than a man coming on a boat with no intentions on killing 3 days in a row? You can't. I should have saved the story for last. I swear to God I should have. We might actually just come back and end the story with how Liam just came on the boat. Now let's get to the Muscle. The Muscle went crazy every day of the week, withstanding Syfe's nonsense and his bickering, to being up at 7:30 a.m. every day to make the phone calls back home to the children. She did all of that while being on stage, with her hair blowing in the wind, with them tight-ass jeans, with that fat ass. It's been a hot weekend. But she's been making a killing. There has not been one day where she didn't flex that muscle. But the muscle's
about to muscle Syfe, you know what I'm saying?
the muscle did what she needed to do.
How did that happen?
Let's switch this to the all-day dancer from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The Miss, I'm gonna switch my dress anytime I feel like it. The Miss, I'm gonna wake up and take a shot and deal with Syfe's schedule later. The Miss, I got a bit for you if Syfe don't got any jokes left. Miss Patron herself went day in and day out on the stage. Not the same dance move. I've never seen somebody dance for 24 hours and not repeat the same dance move. And just take off her clothes and put different clothes on in 5 minutes. That was the star of the weekend. 100%. A lot of background work she did. that was not seen at the front face. But on the backside, we saw a lot of what Rocky Roads does. And yeah, she's a runner-up to the MVP this weekend. She's definitely a runner-up.
And last but not least, Aunt Debbie herself. Or should we say Aunt Debbie?
I say on.
The mix of soul and sass. Honestly, we're not playing games here. The MVP of this trip.
Oh, yeah.
The MVP of this trip. The sleeper. We thought he was gone. No one thought this man was still alive. And he showed up. And he's spraying cologne as we speak.
2 o'clock in the morning in the Irish bar.
2 o'clock in the morning in the Irish
If
bar.
you ask him, it's oh shit hands that we're at right now.
Oh, which is a little racist towards the Irish, but I'll allow it because he let me do a couple jokes and now he cut me off. The reactions, the faces, the lines, the versatility of nicknames for me,
The timing.
with them all starting with Lee.
Right, make the face.
It's Lee John.
Make the face.
And let's not forget confronting a Karen. He confronted a Karen for Black History Month.
Let me take a shot for that.
That was
That's when something solidifies. That's when something solidifies your card and your place in the Hall of Fame of Black people is when you confront a Karen, when you are in a professional place, when you trying to just stay, you want to stay cordial because Mama Love raised you right. Mama Love raised you right. I don't disrespect no elders.
and to quote the GOAT, that's a respectable.
That's a respectable. Ma, I was respectful tonight. I swear to you I was. Okay, you raised me right. I tried, but as they tell it, I was another victim.
I don't know if this is derailing or doing a good job, but this trip has been unforgettable. And I would say we had 5 wild nights in a row.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Let's get to recapping, shall we? Me and Cynthia couldn't have had a more perfect flight. 11 a.m. And even though the flight time was great and we were going to get into Miami a day early because you know how planes play sometimes, and since the cruise was leaving on Friday, we couldn't take any risks. The plan was get down there ASAP, check out Miami, maybe meet Pitbull. I hear if you snort a line off a BBL inside a Lamborghini 3 times, he appears. I'm just going to say this about my flight. Unless I'm paying for Comfort Plus or first class, I'm not buying a plane ticket. And then also paying for my seat. That's bonkers on a log. Isn't having to sit in basic punishment enough? We have to roll the dice with who we're sharing an Uber pool of the sky with these days. Shouldn't we be getting special treatment, all of us, the second we fund the roulette jails of the skies? We're keeping the airline industry in business just by buying a plane ticket, but then they're adding another layer to the fuckery? I simply will not pay for a seat in basic economy. I'll risk the middle, I'll risk the back, I'll be the last one on the goddamn plane. I don't give a fuck. What happens in this case is when you get to the airport gate, that's when you get your seat assigned. Sometimes in under 24 hours you can pick it, but most times it gets assigned at the gate. 17D, okay. Middle seat, I'll pee before I get on the plane. I'll not fall asleep in my seat at the risk of making my neighbors my pillow. 17D, however, is the first class of basic economy, baby. It's the creme de la creme, the emergency row. Now let me tell you something about the emergency row. The leg room is something those in the back of the plane only dream of. Is there a catch? Of course. You gotta volunteer to save lives, baby. A verbal yes that if the plane goes down, you will assist in getting all the motherfuckers off. You who's high on an edible, a widow sweepy, an untrained and emergency assistant will help the rest of the plane. Yes, here's my verbal yes. But then I squeak out, yikes, oh my God, what if it really happens? Ooh. And the guy next to me said, it's okay. I can do it. I looked over at him, makeupless, a little piece of sleep in my eye I would later discover, and mouth slack-jawed. I looked over at this heroic stranger, who I now would have to give up my armrest to, since only one of us is likely equipped to save the civilians, and it can't be old crusty eyes. This man did not look like he belonged in basic economy, but perhaps he gave up his seat in first class to, I don't know, a three-legged dog who was just a real good boy going down to volunteer in Miami. He looked like a prince from a 90s movie. He looked like a boy from Abercrombie and Fitch. I then proceeded to shamelessly beat my face so pristinely that when Cynthia and I got off the plane, she audibly said, "Rocky, did you put on a whole face of makeup?" "Yes, Cynthia, I did. But if you had seen 17E, you'd understand." We were waiting for Liam at the airport because his flight was coming in an hour after ours, so it only made sense for us to travel to the Airbnb together. Our flight came in early. His came in even earlier. I don't know what these Howard Hugheses are doing, but they're in these skies with an absolute agenda. They got somewhere to be. But we didn't crash, and Liam landed early too, so it worked out. Drunk pilots running red lights in the sky. One thing I didn't know about the 305 is that everywhere you go, everyone speaks Spanish. I think that's really cool. I wish the whole country was bilingual. There are some countries where everyone speaks 3 or 4 languages, and we're over here like, "Hola, ¿cómo está?" That's all I know. I only took 1 year of Spanish. It's cool to be multilingual. And I feel like a lot of people in America don't know that in America, in Miami, everybody's down there speaking Spanish. I loved it. This would have been great for me too if I didn't stop actively learning Spanish 3.5 years ago. I was so into it. I was watching Sin Seños with Catalina. I had a massive streak on Duolingo. Now look at me. Eyes rolled all the way in the back of my head when I try and conjugate a verb. I'm messing up my tus and my ustedes. Our Uber driver, Miriam, got so excited when she saw my name was Raquel, but was very quickly disappointed when I could not hold up my part of the convo. Lo siento, Miriam. Despite a 66% language barrier, we had Miriam laughing, Liam especially. I told her I liked her dress, and she offered me the dress off her back because we had arranged for her to be our driver in the morning. It didn't work out that way. In the morning, she texted that she got invited to the Florida Keys, and she had to take the opportunity. But she really enjoyed getting to know us, and she was sad that she couldn't give me her dress because she was planning on it. She wished Liam and Cynthia well as well, and she said if we were ever in Miami to hit her up. So truly, if anyone listening to this does go to Miami, I know a great Uber driver. When we got to our Airbnb, it was 1 level, 3 bedrooms, and I felt like I was home. Like, maybe I lived in this house in a past life. Even my friends were saying, they were like, "Rocky, this is your house." We couldn't understand it. It just felt like my entire vibe. Justin hadn't got there yet, but we were so hungry, we had to eat. So we go to this restaurant, Versailles. It seemed very casual, but at the same time, very fancy. And it was well priced. But we got white tablecloths. And if that's what Miami is, I am here for it. I got the steak. It was hitting. Now, I don't know if this happens to you when you get on vacation somewhere, especially a stationary vacation, but we had to make a Target run. How people who have made lists upon lists about the things they're going to bring still need to make a Target run, I don't know, but we did. And for some reason in Target, I start to panic. What if we don't have enough food for the night? I start picking up things I never thought I would pick up. I don't know, guys. Do we want these strawberries for the night? Anybody eat pistachios? They don't, by the way, even though pistachios are the caviar of nuts. You learn a lot about people on a trip. By the time we got back to the Airbnb, Justin was there, and that's when things really kicked into high gear. It felt like our missing puzzle piece. We locked in with Justin, and from that moment on, the 4 of us were on. It was lightning in a bottle. I'm thinking we have till about 11:30 noon before we have to check out. We all kind of let loose. We go on the back porch. We start drinking, listening to music. Justin called my playlist chaotic. Some people don't agree with going from Johnny Cash to Blue Cantrell to Biggie Smalls, but you can't teach everyone. If I'm being real, for a second he had me doubting my own playlist. Is this not good? Are we not vibing? But then a couple drinks in, my man is up dancing and snapping. Never sleep on a Powell playlist. Ever. The vibes were so good in the backyard, we didn't even want to explore Miami. We didn't need to. We were laughing so hard we couldn't even get a game of Uno going. But we did have to be up, and we did have a whole day, and we did have a whole 4 extremely wild days ahead of us. So we took ourselves inside, we got really cozy, and we said, let's watch a movie. So me, Cynthia, and Liam, we put on a movie. I don't know where Justin went. There ain't but 4 rooms in the house, and we decided, let's watch a good, wholesome movie. We put on that Jennifer Lawrence movie, the one where she has to bang the kid for a new car. Far stretch from Katniss, but it was all right. And then here comes Justin, piling out of the side room, criticizing the movie before he even watched 2 minutes of it. It was at that moment I realized there was nothing wrong with my playlist. But we all wanted to be in agreement, so we threw on Superbad. I didn't forget how great Superbad was. I was almost going to say I forgot how great Superbad was. I'm going to remind you, don't forget how great Superbad is, because it holds up, baby. It had just been a minute since I watched it. And we were watching it, and we were laughing, and we pulled the futon out from the other room so all of us could have space to sprawl out. And I was like, yo, I could do this for 4 more days. They let me have the room with the bathroom, the ensuite. I felt like the king of the goddamn castle. And when it was time to go to bed, even though I didn't want to, even though my belly was hurting from laughing, I said, guys, everybody sleep in tomorrow and let's get ready for the trip of our lives. And then I went in the bedroom and I said, let me double check on that checkout time. Turns out our checkout time was actually 10 a.m. So then I had to go in the living room, face my babies and tell them the truth. Nobody's sleeping in. We have to check out at 10. And even though I tried to stretch the checkout, I had already gotten us in early. So my man Rudal, he was like, nah, checkout's at 10. It hurt to have to tell them that. But that was just a teeny tiny hiccup in what was the trip of a lifetime. The next day we set sail, and you'll hear all about it in part 2. In the meantime, like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Follow me at Wild Nights with Rocky on TikTok and Instagram, at Wild Nights Pod on Twitter. You can subscribe to my Patreon for $2 or $5 a month if you want to support the show with your wallets. And all episodes are on YouTube if you want to watch them that way. A big thank you and a future thank you to everyone who's written and everyone who will write a review when this episode is over. It really does make a difference. Stay tuned for part 2 and stay wild.
Is it?